Despite contributing the least to global greenhouse gas emissions put at 3%, the African continent carries the biggest burden of the climate change crisis. Flooding, sea level rise, and global warming are all glaring impacts of the changing weather events, which a 2022 report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) reveals could displace about 700 million people on the continent.
Only 5% of the investment is carried out on the continent. Everything else is built and knocked down elsewhere and brought to Africa for installation. So, the backward integration or how this sector really positively affects our economy is not there. How does it affect our imagination? Negative. Negative to the point that somebody will say, come and see the water I drink, and they'll actually take you to a polluted river, fetch the water and drink it, just to prove that this is what they drink normally. When we get to that point that we've gotten to, we need to retrace our steps.
I enjoin everyone to be very painstaking and focus on the subject of the conference so that we can come up with one position. As they always say, united we stand, divided we fall.
Issues such as politics of COP27, the need for just energy transition, climate change financing, adaptation and mitigation plans for Nigeria topped discussions at this gathering, which attracted participants from the civil society, government officials, and representatives of frontline communities.
We should be demanding for a climate debt. The climate debt that will pay for the damage historically and also pay for the damage that is being done. So people have said, how can you calculate it? But environmental economists have calculated using so many parameters about how this can be paid, including by calculating the gain being made by polluting nations who are not taking action. Because when they don't take climate action, they are gaining.
Issues like mitigation, like liability, like decarbonization, issues like net zero versus real zero. Even recently, the Vice President spoke about debt swap for climate action. You know, what does that really mean? So we extended invitation to the VP's office that, look, come speak to the people and let us have an understanding of what you're saying so that you can also have an understanding what the CSOs and the people that are at the front line of climate change are saying.
Tagged National Conference on Climate Change, COP27 and beyond. Stakeholders here deliberated on how to make Nigeria's nationally determined contribution more effective, while also articulating common climate change agenda for the country ahead of COP27.